welcome to today's yoga practice where we will be working on balancing poses. So we'll begin in a seated position. Go ahead and find your easy seated pose, keeping the spine straight but relaxed, letting the shoulders soften. And if you want to, you can close the eyes. Just taking a moment here to find stillness and silence before we get started. Noticing your inhales and exhales. And then slowly open your eyes. Tuck the chin to the chest. Take the right ear to the right shoulder. And then chin back to the chest. Left ear to left shoulder. And just continue taking the head from side to side for a couple more breaths. Take the chin back to the chest, and then lift the head to look straight ahead. Go ahead and on an inhale, lift the shoulders up to the ears and roll the shoulders down and back on an exhale. So just making some circles with the shoulders, going in one direction. And then we'll switch and go forward. So inhale the shoulders up, exhale forward and down. Inhale, take the left arm overhead, send the right arm out, and reach over to your right side stretch. Keeping the chest pointed forward rather than down. Take a couple of breaths here. Trying to keep both hips planted on the floor. Inhale to come up, and then exhale to reach over to the left. Remember to keep the chest pointed forward and both hips down on the ground. Inhale to come up, and we'll make our way to tabletop position. So placing the shoulders over the hands and the hips over the knees. We'll take a few breaths to flow through cat-cow. So inhale to lift the tailbone, chin and chest. Exhale, round the back, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round the back. And then do this a couple more times at your own pace. Coming back to a neutral position. Send the right leg out behind you and lift the left arm. So balancing here, engage the core. Inhale, exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale to extend, exhale, elbow to knee. Do this about 3 more times on your own. Back to tabletop. Take a moment to recenter. Then take the left leg out behind you and up. Right hand reaches forward. Take a breath here. Finding balance. Inhale. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale to extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. Do this 3 more times on your own. Back to your tabletop position. Send the hips back to sit on the heels and then just make some circles with your wrist. Going in one direction and then the other. And we'll return to our tabletop position. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. Pedal out the feet. Maybe sway the hips from side to side. Take an inhale. Exhale, send the right foot between the hands. Lift the chest, coming into high lunge. Arms reaching overhead. Take a couple of breaths here. Finding your gazing point in front of you. From here, we'll be moving into a warrior 3. So lower the hands into prayer position. Shift the weight into the right leg. Drag the left leg up, lifting it, sending the chest forward. Warrior 3. Breathing here. Last inhale. On an exhale, begin to lift the chest, sweeping the left leg through and pulling it up and into the chest, holding on to the shin. Balancing here. Keeping your focus on your gazing point in front of you. Last inhale. On an exhale, begin to send the leg back, hands in prayer pose, and we'll come into our warrior 3 again. So just reversing. Breathing here in warrior 3. Last inhale. Exhale, send the left toes down and back, coming into your high lunge. Take a few breaths here. Last inhale. Exhale, lower the hands down to the ground, step back to plank. Take an inhale here. Exhale, lower slowly all the way down to the ground. Inhale, press the hands into the floor, lift the chest, cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale to tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. And take a couple of breaths here. So preparing to do that on the left side. Take an inhale. Exhale, step the left foot between the hands. Lift the chest, high lunge. Take a few breaths here. Last inhale. Exhale the hands into prayer position. Send the weight into the left foot. Drag the right toes up. And then begin to lift the leg coming into warrior three. Last inhale. Exhale, lift the chest, sweep the leg through, pulling the knee into the chest and holding onto the shin. Remaining focused on your gazing point. And then we'll prepare to reverse back the way we came. So last inhale. Exhale, send the hands back to prayer. Send the right foot back, chest goes forward, warrior three. Breathe. Last inhale. Exhale, send the right toes down and back, finding your high lunge position. Take a couple of breaths here. Last inhale. Exhale, lower the hands down to the ground. Send the left foot back to plank. Take an inhale here. Exhale, slowly lower all the way down to the ground. Inhale, press the hands into the floor, lift the chest. Exhale, lower. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, send the right foot between the hands, lift the chest, high lunge. Take a couple of breaths. Last inhale. Exhale, lower the hands to the ground. Drag the left toes in just a bit. Right hand goes to the right corner of the mat. I'm staying up on my fingertips. And then begin to lift the back leg and open the chest up to the left for half moon. Last inhale. And an exhale, send the left hand back down to the ground. Keep the left leg lifted, but square the hips to the floor. Slight bend in the right knee as you raise the chest, and then pull the left leg up into the chest And we'll make our way into tree pose. So you can take your left sole of the foot and place it on the calf or the upper thigh. Hands in prayer. Breathing here. Finding your point of focus. Last inhale. Exhale, pull the thigh back into the chest. Hold on to the shin. Take a breath. Last inhale. Exhale, send the left leg back, and then lower back into your high lunge. Take a breath here. Last inhale here. Exhale, send the left hand down to the ground. Open the chest up to the right. Twisted high lunge. Breathing here. Last inhale here. Exhale, lower the back knee down. So now we're more in a low lunge position. Keeping your chest twisted to the right, lift the chest. So now we're in a twisted low lunge. Taking a few breaths here. Last inhale. Exhale, windmill the hands down to the ground. Send the hips back, straighten the right leg, and lift the toes for half split. Last inhale. Exhale, bend back into the right leg. Lift the back knee. Send the right foot back, plank. Take an inhale here. Exhale, slowly lower all the way down to the ground. Inhale, lift the chest, cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. And take a couple of breaths here. Last inhale here. Exhale, step the left foot between the hands, lift the chest, high lunge. Take a couple of breaths here. Last inhale. Exhale, lower the hands back down to the ground. Pull the right toes a bit forward. Left hand goes to the left corner of the mat. Begin to lift the right leg. Open up the chest. Half moon. Last inhale. Exhale, keep the leg lifted, lower the hands back down to the ground, square the hips toward the floor, bend into the left leg, slowly lift the chest, pull the right knee into the chest. Coming into tree pose. You can take the right sole of foot to the calf or up to the thigh. Hands in prayer. Taking a few breaths here. Gaze is remaining on your focus point. Crown of the head is lifting. Last inhale. Exhale, pull the right knee back into the chest, holding onto the shin. Take a breath. On an exhale, send the right toes back and down, finding your high lunge. Arms overhead. Last inhale. Exhale, send the right hand to the ground. Open the chest up to the left side of the room. Twisted lunge. Pressing the floor away from you with the hand. Last inhale. Exhale, lower the back knee down to the ground, keeping the chest pointed to the left side of the room. Lift the torso for twisted low lunge. Last inhale. Exhale, lower the hands down to the ground. Send the hips back, straighten the left leg, lift the toes toward the ceiling, half split. Last inhale. Exhale, bend back into the left leg, plant the hands on the ground, lift the right knee, send the left foot back, plank. Take an inhale here. Exhale, slowly lower all the way down to the ground. So, coming into some back strengthening work. Keep the hands lightly on the floor and then lift the chest without pressing into the floor. So if you want to take your hands off the ground, you can do that, or you can just let them rest lightly here on the mat. Neck stays neutral. Keep breathing. Last inhale. Exhale, lower, stack the hands, rest the forehead on the hands. Wiggle the hips. And from here, let the hands rest light, let the arms and hands rest lightly on the floor. Head is lifted, but you're not lifting the chest. From here, lift the legs. Breathe. Last inhale. Exhale, lower, stack the hands, rest the forehead. Shake out the hips. and then we'll put the two together. So coming into your starting position, inhale, lift the chest and the legs. Remember, you can keep the hands lightly on the floor if needed. Last inhale. Exhale, lower, stack the hands, rest the forehead, shake out the hips. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders, press yourself back into tabletop, and we'll make our way into pigeon pose. So take the right knee and place it behind the right hand, and then the right foot will rest between the left hand and left hip. Lengthen down the mat, left leg is long behind you. You can stay here in this lifted position, or you can begin to fold any amount over the right leg. We'll take several breaths here. On your next inhale, slowly begin to lift the chest. Press the hands into the ground. Make your way back to tabletop. And we'll switch sides. So left knee behind the left hand, left foot is between the right hand and right hip. Send the right leg down and back. So you can remain here, or you can begin to fold. So several breaths here. On your next inhale, slowly lift the chest. Press the hands into the ground, find your tabletop. And then slowly send the hips down and to the right to come into a seated position. Take the legs out long in front of you. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, send the chest forward and have the sensation of sending the hips back to come into your forward fold. So hands can be resting on the floor, the shins, or the thighs. But we want to have the sense of lengthening the chest forward rather than crunching down. We'll stay here for a few breaths. Inhale to lift the chest. Pull the right leg into the chest. Hug the right leg in with the left arm. Right fingertips rest behind you on the mat. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale to twist. Last inhale. Exhale, come back to center, send the right leg down, pull the left knee into the chest, hug the knee in with the right arm, left fingertips rest on the floor behind you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to twist to the left. Last inhale. Exhale, come back to center. Send the legs out long. And we'll make our way to a reclined position. Pull the knees into the chest. Just rock a little bit from side to side. Sending the arms down to the mat, goalpost arms, or you can make the arms into a T shape. Inhale here. Exhale, send the legs over to the left and the head over to the right for reclined twist. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, send the legs over to the right and head falls to the left. Inhale, come back to center. Send the legs down the mat, wider than the hips. Let the feet fall out to the sides. Arms rest beside you with the palms facing up. Let the shoulder blades go down the back. Letting each muscle relax and become heavy. Final resting pose. Stay here as long as you need. Thank you for practicing with me.